Do we need you guys excited?
Yes. How excited are we?
This excited.
It's still in my system. I still have to get it out.
스페이스함을 가져오셨거나 기내 사이즈보다 큰 가방을 가져오신 분들께서는 저희 직원에게 가져와 주십시오. 최종 선착지까지
I'm ready. I am ready.
Oh boy. Damn, that's fast, man.
Oh my god.
In spring 2016, two groups of students from across the world became connected. We didn't know it then, but by asking a single question, we had set in motion something we would never forget.
I thought it would be another year or two, and then you guys just kind of said, let's go. And I'm like, okay, why not?
The spring semester had ended, and only a few days later we found ourselves in Beijing, China. We didn't know what was in store for us, but we were excited beyond belief for the next 10 days.
Hey, John, what about, if we're out, like, just visiting, and she's taking a video, will that be okay?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes. Maybe spend 1 day in the Forbidden Cities, because the Forbidden City is very large. We have to spend more time to start seeing all the planets.
Are you guys excited?
No, not at all.
They do what?
They honk a lot here.
They really do.
The constant honking we would hear on our trip soon became natural. It's a part of life in China, and although it sounds angry and impatient, it's something we soon learned was a communication tactic between drivers and pedestrians. The first night in China, we were drained from the 13-hour flight and ready for food and sleep. We had a long 10 days ahead of us, and we gracefully accepted any food we could find, even if we weren't sure exactly what we were getting.
Okay, Alex, show us your new skill. Good job.
It's a new day, and although we were tired, we were super excited for our first adventure in Tianjin and looked forward to exploring the campus.
Are you downloading the translator?
So I can ask for water and not look like an idiot.
Shui.
Yeah, I get it. But now.
I know. Yeah, you went with me, didn't you, last night?
Even though we had great translators with us, having the Microsoft Translator app made all the difference when we were in a new country with a huge language barrier.
But I think, Chinese English teaching system is really bad.
Okay.
I could probably get a very, very high score in every English test, but I could not be able to talk to you like this normally. We can't have a nice conversation like this. So it's more about practicing.
Yeah, and being surrounded.
Yeah, and English learning is more about, accumulation.
Yeah.
Vocabulary. You couldn't, Roma was not built in a day.
Yes.
Right? So you have to, accumulate.
Yeah.
Still, even when the app wasn't at the tip of our fingers, we were able to find ways to communicate by using hand gestures and drawing pictures.
What sports do you play?
Such as basketball and
What is that? Basketball. Oh, okay. Do you have championships or anything where?
yeah, we have. But but most of the championships.
We toured the Tianjin University of Technology campus, the campus where we would be staying for the duration of our trip. Tianjin University of Technology is a public university that originally started out as an engineering-based university and now has 45 bachelor programs and 39 master programs, including visual communications.
Our school has introductory
Okay.
design and discipline design and animation and photography
Okay.
and visual communication.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first floor is the classroom.
In 2012, our teacher, Virgil, had a conversation with one of his graduate students, Yinan Wang.
This is students program.
Oh wow.
Students work. Because the animation students always pay more attention to 3D.
Okay.
So this is your work. Take a picture.
Yinan had come from Tianjin and proved to be an excellent student. She planted the seed of Virgil traveling to China to lecture on design and the creative process. 3 years later, on his 4th trip to Tianjin, he found us following behind him every step of the way. That night, we were able to enjoy the dumpling house that Virgil had told us about earlier in the semester. Our translator, Jojo, told us that the dumpling house had over 300 different flavors of dumplings. Unfortunately, we couldn't eat that many in one sitting, so instead we ordered 4 kinds of dumplings along with some other delicious selections our kind translator ordered for us.
What does that mean, Christina?
That means I'm good. How are you? Or is it just I'm good?
I'm good.
So if I say
你好吗？
你好吗？你好吗？我很好。
We ate and we laughed, and we also learned some new phrases to use while we were in China. After dinner, our sweet-tooth professor spotted a bakery across the street from the restaurant and kindly treated us all to some Western baked goods.
Should we just walk across?
No. Chocolate.
Let me just get all of them. Dallas and Fort Worth combined.
But I know Dallas is one of the largest cities.
We had a long second day ahead of us. We were headed to the Forbidden City in Beijing, and after the long hot bus ride that was still fresh in our memory from a few days past, we were pleased to be taking a myriad of taxis, subways, buses, and the fast train. The taxi situation, although cramped, was also a funny experience that both emotionally and physically pushed us all closer together.
We need coffee real quick, guys.
A running joke with our group started soon into our trip. Our professors, particularly Casey, had a deep need for coffee. Stopping for coffee was a common occurrence, and the lot of us who didn't really need a constant tap of caffeine running through our veins often had to wait while they retrieved their medicine.
Here, you want to do that again?
Is this a Christmas song?
All right. Who's my 4 people? Who are we? My 4 people. We're the.
We're Casey crew.
The 2 boys.
Once we take the fast train, we will arrive at Beijing station at once, just within the 25 minutes.
Getting to Beijing, although not hot and stuffy like the bus, was a very long process. The fast train, being the most expensive, cost us 54 yuan. However, in comparison, that's a measly $8.23 in US dollars. The fast train was definitely the most relaxing, something we cherished on our way back from Beijing. When we finally reached our destination, we were able to walk around what looked like the equivalent of Washington, D.C.
So is that the government?
Yeah. You know, some important meetings.
Like the White House?
Our house here.
Is it like the White House?
Yeah.
Is it like a
White House?
Okay.
like a tomb?
Do they live there?
No, just have work here.
We stopped for photos, and some people even stopped us to take photos of our residential blonde, Cora, and I, the curly-haired goofball, as we were making our walk towards the Forbidden City. Getting into the Forbidden City was a task on its own. So far, our day had been comprised of walking around and standing in lines. And surprise! That's what the rest of the day looked like as well. The Forbidden City is a massive palace filled with amazing architecture and beautiful patterns.
What is the name of this building?
太和殿, Palace of Taihe. Yeah.
One of our translator friends told us that the giant pots that scattered the Forbidden City were good luck to touch. After which, he then told us that in their prime, they were used to boil people alive, something that was considered, and rightly so, to be the cruelest death.
Used for?
Those pots?
Yeah, the pots.
They were used for boiling people, you say?
Boiling people. Yeah.
Wow.
It's one of the most cruel punishment.
Yeah.
The fact that we were able to go around and touch these parts of history was truly amazing and humbling.
The chair is made of diamonds and gold.
Yeah, and gold. Yeah.
Is there a lot of diamonds in China, like mining?
What is mining?
Like with the pickaxe to get the stone out of the ground?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So there's lots of diamonds?
Yeah. It's luxury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best for the emperor.
Yeah, best for them. And the emperor tries to find a way that he could, be immortal. But, he failed because he has the most powerful right. So he wants to have this life forever. Yeah, but
he doesn't want to give it up.
He employed, thousands of workers to find the herb.
After a full day of walking and fresh sunburns, we were ready to go home. However, we still had a long trek back to Tianjin, reversing everything that we had done earlier that day, but adding the panic and running hysteria of almost missing the fast train, the key to getting back to Tianjin. Although exhausted, we woke up the next day ready for our next adventure. We would finally be able to spend our money on something other than transportation and water, or shui, as we learned to call it. We made our way to Culture Street, the place where we would buy affordable traditional Chinese paintings and trinkets. Something authentic and truly Chinese, and not just something that was made there. At the end of a long day of shopping, we decided to go to the Haihe River, a river that is considered to be a treasure in Tianjin.
Can you tell me about this wall?
This wall has to describe the Tianjin Haihe River in introductions. The Tianjin Haihe River is our mother river in Tianjin. The Mississippi River is the mother river in the United States. And here is a very beautiful views in the Tianjin. As you will see, there have been many tourists walking around here to take photographs as their memories in Tianjin travel. I hope that all the foreigners come to here to appreciate the Tianjin's cultures and get to know the Haihe River knowledge as your memories. Welcome to Tianjin.
The next morning, we had an official welcoming ceremony to attend. This was the first time we saw the Chinese students we had Skype with during the spring semester. After listening to a short lecture about the school, we were finally able to meet the students face to face and give and receive critiques on our posters we had worked on all semester long.
To give their brief presentation about their poster for the student from United States. And they hope you can give your enthusiastic and treacherous comment on their and the workers.
Our translator had to leave halfway through our session, and we had to make use of the Microsoft Translator app. Luckily, some of the students spoke English enough for us to get our points across. After 5 days of breathing polluted air, some of our students began to feel the effects.
So, the reason Cora and I are wearing masks, you can probably hear my throat, which I'm trying to really project right now.
The pollution's very bad. Everybody here doesn't really notice it because they're really used to it, but everybody woke up with sore throats this morning, and
this is day 5.
Horse throats, and it's not overcast. It looks overcast, but it's not overcast. It's pollution. So if you look around, those clouds, that's smog.
Some people are wearing masks, but a majority of people think it's not bad enough to wear a mask yet.
Preventing pollution by installing cleaner energy resources was one of our poster focuses. Seeing the effects firsthand really brought the need for change into light. Heading back to Beijing, we would be visiting the Great Wall. The amount of walking we had ahead of us was not celebrated, but we were excited to experience such a great part of history. At one point, on our way to the Great Wall, I realized my phone was missing. We quickly figured out that someone had stolen it, and I was devastated. More so because I had lost all of the pictures, videos, and interviews I had taken prior to the incident. My teachers and classmates comforted me though, and the whole situation taught me that bad things happen sometimes, but to go on and smile anyway. I was headed to the Great Wall of China after all, so I thought, how can I stay angry when there was so much to be happy about still?
Okay, that's Virgil, and Casey's way up there. How are our teachers beating us right now?
Now, the Great Wall was built 2,000 years ago, and during the Qing Dynasty, for preventing the enemy's invasion. And the entire length of the Great Wall is more than 50,000 kilometers, and it is considered as the 7th greatest miracle in the world. And it took a massive labor force to complete the construction of the Great Wall. Every Chinese is proud of the Great Wall. Chairman Mao once said, "A man who does not reach the Great Wall is not a true man," because climbing the Great Wall would be extremely hard, and it's a big challenge for you both physically and mentally. Meanwhile, if you don't climb it, you would never be able to see the beautiful and splendid sceneries around the Great Wall. So Chairman Mao said everyone in China, we should climb it at least one time in your life. And that means you could become a real citizen or a true man with ambition and willpower, which also means the Great Wall represents the spiritual symbol of Chinese culture.
We loved the wall, and it was well worth the effort. We took joy in the small things that day. After taking in China's amazing landscape and enjoying the cool breeze we had on the wall, we headed home. Even our translator was exhausted from the long day of work.
That's our tour guide. We killed him. You should wake up Jason.
Waiting at the door. Please stand steadily.
That was some good reaction time.
Seeing our work displayed in China was absolutely incredible. Who knew that we would be able to see all of our hard work displayed to a Chinese market?
So how do you feel about your posters being displayed in China?
It's amazing. It's like a dream come true. I'm just amazed that they made it this big, and I'm excited to show mine, and it feels just really amazing. It feels very like a cross-cultural experience, and I love all the work I'm seeing here. I'm really happy.
Oh, I think it's great. It's an opportunity that not a lot of designers get to have, and to be here is just a blessing.
It's very neat. It's an opportunity that I never thought that I was going to get, and to actually come here and see it displayed is very emotional. I never thought my work would be displayed overseas, and if it was, I wouldn't be able to actually physically be there to see it. And so to actually be here and to see everybody's work and to see the students interacting with the work, it's a very extraordinary experience.
The show went great, and it was truly rewarding to see how this all came to be.
1, 2, 3.
She needed ice.
We then ate lunch with the Chinese students, celebrating all of our hard work.
What a great idea.
I know, I thought of it at dinner.
Yes, say hi.
We made so many great friends on our trip that we really hope to see again if we get the opportunity to go back to Tianjin. Taking in Tianjin and Chinese culture, we were able to go to some museums that displayed a famous traditional artist in China, as well as some history about Tianjin.
This work is created by a very famous painter Qi Baishi in China. It's priceless. It's you will never see this all around the world. So it's you just watch it. Don't look at me.
Look off in the distance.
Look at that dance.
Later, we were welcomed into a traditional tea and incense ceremony.
冷壶烫盏是泡茶时的重要步骤，它不仅可以提高。
那么再一会儿咱们去看一下中国人的这个香。
The ceremonies were peaceful and felt like a blessing from China. It was truly beautiful to be a part of Chinese culture.
In Asian style, as the women often regard corpulent and chubby as beautiful.
在那个时候，有一位非常著名的王妃。
In that times, have a very famous the king wife, the queen.
就是胖胖的。
Yes, that's queen's the face is look like chubby. And
Strawberry?
Yes, chubby, like the baby.
Chubby.
Yeah, chubby.
Chubby,
And like
yeah.
like in the
Baby.
like the electric.
Like me.
Eventually, the trip had to come to an end, something we dreaded. Having to leave all of our friends we made in a city that we had come to love didn't sound like something we really wanted to do.
It's weird how natural it is to be here. It feels like it's right. And
we don't feel like lost so much. I mean, we don't understand a lot of things, but
we don't know where we are.
We're put at ease so easily by our hosts and by a lot of the strangers that we meet. They make us feel really welcome, and I think that's really not shocking, but amazing. This is the kind of trip that, I mean, just really kind of like changes you as a person, you know?
Though we were only in China for 10 days, it felt like a lifetime. We were accepted by everyone we met in China and really felt like we belonged there. We dream of our days in Tianjin now, and I think that Tianjin will always have a place in our hearts. Xie xie. Tianjin, we will miss you.